Copyright laws apply to all contents of this video. Hello, JOMAJ Studios here, and this is our original fantasy action adventure, Like Water, The Next Age. Episode 6. After enduring 2 days of traveling, which heavily featured a lot of Barnabas's jokes, one afternoon the young couple came upon a small community filled with singing and dancing. "Hello, strangers. My name is Sydney and you are welcome to join us," said a very short, pudgy-looking man as he took the young couple by the hand and guided them to seats in form of hay. And before they knew it, they were in the presence of a variety of entertaining acts, from dancers to clowns to acrobats, flamethrowers and singers. Barnabas was very animated, clapping, laughing and even shedding a tear or two, while Ice took in everything with her usual emotionless disposition. "This is the most hospitable community we have visited in a long time," said Barnabas, gladly accepting some pastry that was offered to him. "We were a traveling carnival for many generations before the world changed. Even if we are confined to this here community, we still do our very best to keep our heritage alive," explained Sydney. "How have you managed to access clean drinking water?" asked Barnabas. "Come, let me show you," said Sydney, getting up and leading Barnabas, while Ice continued to watch the festivities. Sydney took Barnabas to an area behind the hut, where an old gypsy-looking woman was producing all kinds of potions. "Hello, Ariel. Barnabas and his wife are visiting us for a short while, and I wanted to show him how we purify our water," said Sydney. The old woman, with a simple hand gesture, ushered them over to a huge body of muddy water in a swimming pool-like hole in the ground. She then brought out a small bottle filled with blue liquid, of which she put a drop of in the pool of muddy water. In an instant, the water went from muddy to 100% clean. "This is amazing," gasped Barnabas. "For a programmer, you're easily impressed," said Ariel. "How?" "Don't look so surprised. It's not that hard to figure out. You're traveling across the wastelands, yet you're clean and healthy," pointed out Ariel. "I guess so," responded Barnabas, seeing the old woman's point. Sydney and the young programmer paid their respects and began to head back towards the festivities. "Please forgive me if I'm out of line by asking this, but is everything okay between you and your wife?" asked Sydney. "Why do you ask?" responded Barnabas, a little confused. "It's just, your wife looks kind of sad," said Sydney. Both men then take a look at Ice, who sat with her usual blank look, while a few of the community's young women fussed over her. "Trust me when I say that's one of her happy faces," pointed out Barnabas. "I see," said Sydney, then proceeding to stop Barnabas from approaching his wife. "Let us set up a nice romantic evening for you both before you resume your travels," requested Sydney. "No problem," obliged Barnabas. The young woman, fussing around Ice, then proceeded to lead her into a tent, where they gave her a nice soothing bubble bath, a pedicure and manicure, as well as starting to do her hair and makeup. That evening, Barnabas stepped into a very romantically themed courtyard, surrounded by music designed to add to the mood. Dressed in a smart black suit. Moments later, Ice emerged in a lovely black dress that suited her perfectly. "Wow," said Barnabas, taken by the beauty of his wife, who in turn stood there with her usual look. Barnabas took her by the hand and proceeded to slowly dance with her in line with the surrounding music. "I know I don't say this enough, but you are the most beautiful woman I have ever laid eyes on," said Barnabas as he and Ice gracefully moved to the music as one. Ice responded by resting her forehead against his with her eyes closed while they continued to dance. Probably the most magical moments the young couple had shared with one another was abruptly brought to an end as 30 bandits smashed through the community with automobiles and motorcycles, firing guns while screaming and shouting. Ice and Barnabas were ready to take action, but before they could even move a muscle, every member of the community turned into huge demonic beings and proceeded to tear apart every single bandit that chose to attack the community. After about 15 minutes, no bandit was left alive, and the villagers reverted back to their human forms. There was blood and body parts everywhere. "What have you done to yourselves?" asked Barnabas as he stood in shock. We used to be a lot bigger as a community, but as you can imagine, our numbers began to dwindle as night after night we were attacked by either bandits or monsters. So Ariel created a potion out of demon blood that allowed us to access power to defend ourselves as a community, explained Sydney. What you have done to yourselves is ungodly, said Barnabas. What will you have us do? Let this world kill us off one by one without even trying to defend ourselves? Responded Sydney. Sydney, this world is nothing more than a temporary home for us. Surviving is pointless if we do so at the expense of our eternal destination, explained Barnabas. You're telling me if you could, you wouldn't kill to bring back your people? Challenged Sydney. I can help you. Just let me reverse what you've done to yourself. Then you can travel with us and receive all the protection you need, promised Barnabas, on the verge of begging. The fact that you're the last of your kind says to me your so-called protection isn't exactly guaranteed survival, responded Sydney. Barnabas, with a great amount of sadness, along with his wife, grabbed his things and proceeded to leave the community. That is the end of episode 6, but before we go, answer this episode's question. Could Barnabas have done more to help Sydney's community, bearing in mind that he could have cured and immunized them without their consent? Give your answers in the comments below, as well as on our Facebook and Twitter page. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Stay tuned for the next one. Until then, subscribe to JOMAJ Studio YouTube channel, add us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter. Link to our website and all social media can be found in the description box below. See you later.